Well, hello everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant. This is Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? All right. So, my question is can an entire population or a group of people be trauma bonded? Yes. Yes, they can. So let's go back and look back over trauma bonding. It's not just an individual thing, because most of us know it from the standpoint of an individual or an intimate relationship, or relationship between parent and child, between partners, children. So let's look at what the phenomenon of trauma bonding is. It is a emotional and psychological attachment to an abuser, and it is reinforced by positive, or it is strengthened by positive and negative reinforcement. What does that mean? You have to remember, it is to trauma bond, there is an intense flooding of emotions, of intimacy, of increasing your hope, of bringing hope up, to feed on your expectations, to feed on the hope of people. What you desire the most is what you're flooded with. It's almost you're overwhelmed with answers to problems, overwhelmed with the attention, the affection you get. When you're talking about a greater population, a bigger, a great population, a group of people, you're flooding these individuals with the hopes that they have. They have fears, they have expectations, they have, their concerns are being expressed. And so that abuser, that pathological individual, that narcissist, will flood them with expectation, will flood them with broken promises. They get breadcrumbed, but you're flooded with hope, expectation, and broken or promises. You're getting these false expectations from this individual or individual people, but individual, because remember, they usually work with flying monkeys, especially when they go to a higher level. And when they take people to this height, this climax, this euphoric feeling where you're filled with hope, where you're filled with expectation, and they win your trust, and they win your empathy, and they win. A lot of people end up being flying monkeys and don't even realize that they're flying monkeys, but as soon as they win your trust and lock you in and have your loyalty and your total support, they immediately turn, and sometimes it's immediate and sometimes it's very subtle, where you begin to get gaslighted. You're looking, and your expectation, you make excuses and you begin to justify. It may not be you, it may be the population, it may be individual groups, but immediately you're being gaslighted. Immediately, everything that there was a promise for, all of a sudden you're looking, and people begin to justify and make excuses for these individuals. It must not be that person. I guarantee you it's these people that they have working with them, or these you start focusing on the flying monkeys, or it may not even be the flying monkeys. You blame it on, or people tend to, or especially the narcissist, will blame it on other people. Anything that they do, they're going to find a target to blame it on, so you can redirect your focus on these individuals. And the sad part about this trauma bonding is that they set you up. They already know how people react, because they've been around people long enough to know, but they know how people react, so they redirect that focus, because you will fall into this plan that they have in their mind to attack another group of people, or to attack the resources, the resources that you may have. They attack your resources, but they will set it up where you are the one attacking the resources, so that when things begin to happen, that narcissist will look at you and say, but you're the one who did it. And then you looking at the narcissist, but you're the one who convinced us to do it. And then the narcissist looks at you, no, I didn't, it's almost like this win and lose, or win-lose type of situation. People say yeah, we'll go back to that saying, but they set you up where, they make you think one way. And so when you attack this resource, or you're attacking these group of people, they can always come back to say, if it doesn't work out, it's but you did that. And you're looking at them, but you convinced us to do that. And they're like, no, I didn't. I just gave you this information. You're being gaslighted. And no, but you gave us this information. You gave us this. You know, it's this up and down battle. One minute you make us feel good for the decisions that we make, and when these decisions don't work and you begin to gaslight us and blame us for certain things, we're looking at, but you are the one that convinced us, and you're the one that told us, and you're the one that said, and you're the one that laid this out. And they turn around like, but you made these decisions. I didn't tell you to make this decision. Does that even sound familiar when you're in intimate situations with these narcissists? They set you up to do certain things. They target certain things. They want certain things because they know that people will react versus responding. See, responding requires you to stop and think and make like educated, it's not even educated, but it makes you stop and think. So for some people, it's educated guesses or educated decisions or thought through, to process, to think it through, to look at it in a three-dimensional way. But the one thing that they know is if they want something from you, they will always manipulate you to get you, they focus you in this direction in order for you to make this decision right here. This is the decision that they wanted you to make in the first place, but they convince you to go in that direction in order for you to go that direction. So they tell you about what's on the right in order for you to go to the left, but it's your decision. But the sad part about it is they become the puppet master. They become the puppet master to get people to do what they want them to do, but you're gaslighted. You're gaslighted and you're confused and you're walking on eggshells and you're making these justifications for the abuser, even if they're on a higher level. You're making justification, you're justifying that it's not possible because this person has promised, they have done, and I trusted them. But the sad part about the whole situation is that oftentimes that the person that is gaslighting, the person that is trauma bonding you, and remember with the trauma bond, it results in total dependence on that narcissist. A total dependence, that's what they want. See, if people have a history or you've come from a family with, an abusive family or narcissistic family where love was associated with pain and abuse. Your concept of love, most people say, love comes with pain. Not necessarily. No, it does not. Yes, when you are in a healthy relationship, there are trial and errors. There are things that you're learning and people get their feelings hurt, but it's good to, apologize, but love does not come with pain. And when you grow up in a family where love is put together and associated with pain and abuse, that becomes a familiar. And so it's easier to be trauma bonded to an abuser because that is a familiar feeling that you've had. That is a familiarity, a familiar feeling that you have, even on a high. Then on top of that, your nervous system, which is accustomed to chaos and confusion, which when you are trauma bonded or love bombed, but trauma bonded, it's a matter of trauma and euphoria, feel good, drop, trauma, that whole chaos and confusion. Your nervous system gets used to the chaos. And so when your nervous system is used to the chaos, it's easier to be trauma bonded to negativity or trauma bonded to an abuser. And not only will it be easier for you to be trauma bonded to an abuser, think about it for a minute. You are so traumatized that your familiar, which is chaos and confusion and instability, becomes your norm. So you feel safer in an abusive relationship, which is crazy, right? But you feel safer in an abusive, chaotic relationship because it is your familiar. And a stable, healthy relationship becomes fearful to you because you don't know what to expect. You don't know. You begin to question, like, what do you want? Why are you doing this? So it's like you're off. Your system is off. And you are more prone to being traumatized again. That's why it's easier for an entire population to be trauma bonded to unhealthy public relationships. Population trauma bonding. A lot of people have been traumatized, and so this is their familiar. And I always, it's always that hope. The hope is the last thing to go. Even addiction becomes easier because in a trauma bond, you become addicted. Your brain is addicted to the highs and lows and is looking for the highs and lows. And this is usually the basis of addiction. So you become addicted to the abuser. Even on a greater scale, you become addicted to this because this is your familiar. This is what you know. The brain has now become addicted. It is accustomed to highs and lows of abuse. This is your expectation, and you don't expect anything less because this has been your life. That is so sad, you know, but we can still break the trauma bond. You're welcome.